What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Team Jermaine Franklin. And this is what the promoter had to say. He said, Whyte'S list of excuses is an admission of a loss and a subpar performance. Wow. Dimitri Salita respects what Dillian Whyte has accomplished in his heavyweight division, but he doesn't appreciate how Whyte has handled his controversial victory over Jermaine Franklin. A skeptical Salita, whose company promotes Franklin, questioned where Whyte was actually hindered by a bicep injury and a chest infection during a 12-round fight. Whyte won by majority decision last month at the Oval Arena, Wembley in London. Whyte did not mention either condition in his post-fight press conference, but he referenced those hindrances during an interview with Michelle Joy Phelps' YouTube channel Behind the Gloves. The list of excuses is obviously an admission of a loss. Salita said, for someone who had a chest infection, he sounded pretty loud and didn't sound congested when he was cursing at me and pushed me at the press conference. The 35-year-old Whyte declared after that he defeated Franklin clearly and therefore sees no need to fight Franklin again. Okay, let me counterpunch. Is there truth to Dimitri Salita's comment? Yes. Timing is everything, right? If Dillian Whyte would have said that before, if he would have mentioned anything about bicep, I tweaked my bicep a little bit, and see, when you say that before, or my chest infection, I didn't even hear about the chest infection, congestion or whatever. So, me and he had a cold. Okay, well, when you start making excuses about something that you clearly done, it's always going to raise a red flag. That's anybody. Doesn't matter if it's Dillian Whyte, Anthony Josh, or Andy Ruiz, whoever. When you start talking about, certain things that was wrong with you, you're automatically admitting that there was something that you didn't do because of what you're bringing up. Meaning, because you bring up, oh, I had a bicep injury, that means that I couldn't do what I normally did in a fight with other opponents. Okay? So, if that's the case, if you clearly won, why should that be brought up? That should be the last thing that's brought up out of your mouth, that something was wrong with you. And Salita's right. That's an admission that, you know what? Hey, I had this going, I had that going, I had the chest infection, man, I had the bicep, Like, why are you bringing that up now? If you were comfortable with your performance, if you did everything physically that you supposed to did in that performance, why are you bringing up things that could hinder that performance? See, it's contradicting. It's just going against the streams, right, of what Dillian Whyte's bringing up, because he's like, oh, man, I clearly beat him. What do you guys want? Listen, the next time you get in a near close ass whooping or loss, right, and you want people to believe it was that clear, don't bring up any excuses. Don't bring up any things that could hinder your physicality of any sort during the 36 minutes that you decided to fight this fighter. Okay? The only way you get away with it if you said it before. Because when you say it before, that means, hey, I have, I got a bicep injury. I got a few things in camp that was going on. You could at least said that. So if it ended up being the way that it ended up, then you could say, like, remember, I guys told you I had some issues before camp, so I didn't lie about that. Versus, no, I'm good, I'm shoving promoters and shit, I'm talking all type of smack, I get my mohawk cut in the right direction, I look like I'm fucking 5 years younger with the mohawk, because, that was a throwback Dillian Whyte, so he got the throwback haircut, right? It's okay. So, everything is looking up to par, you right? And it was other than the bicep and the chest infection to me. This is what I was told. I was told, oh, well, I had to adjust to a new trainer. Well, guess what? You shouldn't have fired your last trainer if it wasn't the problem. If the last problem I was fasting because it was Ramadan, why the fuck did you fight Tyson Fury anyway then? if you knew that. That's hindering your physicality right there. Fasting, right? So I'm told. Okay, so there you go. And then that pissed me off when I heard it. I'm like, wait a minute. No, you're trying to adapt to a new style, but then the new style kept you from getting knocked out, because it wasn't until Dillian Whyte tried to open up with the awkward ruggedness that he's used to, that's when he got chinned. All the other times when he put that cross guard up, he was actually doing a good job at protecting that chin, because nobody really knew the condition of that chin, and you don't want to test it with a punch. You know, especially on fight night, because that could be the punch that shows everybody that the chin is not where it's supposed to be. Right? So I think that Salita's right. And I think that, you know, Dillian Whyte shouldn't have made and brought those excuses. Don't even mention them, because once you mention them, if it's true or not, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it looks like an excuse. It just looks like an excuse of what you're bringing up, because you don't really want to deal with the fact that, you know, my performance wasn't where it's supposed to be. Okay. And it probably was where it's supposed to be. Maybe, just maybe, Jermaine Franklin was a lot better than you thought he was going to be. He's an undefeated fighter, and he wasn't going without a no, and he doesn't feel like a loser now. He feels like, you know what, I got robbed in the UK. You know what I mean? Dillian Whyte's supposed to mop that guy. He's supposed to took him out. Now, he almost had him down, but that don't mean he had him ever out. Because even when he caught the guy and he leaned against the ropes, yeah, he would have fell. He would have fell down or whatever. I get it. You know, but at the end of the day, Jermaine Franklin still came back and caught him with a shot. Right? So, you know, I think and the thing is, if he would have done that earlier, we might have saw an outcome like that. But then again, we'll never know. And we'll never know, because the reason you're trying to justify not fighting Jermaine Franklin again is because you had all these problems in your corner, and I would have clearly beat him if I wouldn't have had a chest infection or a bicep or a new trainer or whatever. Well, if that's the case, I say, show me. You guys know much about me by now. Half my family's from Kansas City, Missouri. And Missouri is the show me state. So show me. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Team Franklin stating that the excuses from Dillian Whyte is an admission of guilt. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!